Hi, everybody. I am Lauren Cohen, international lawyer, realtor, and investment strategist. And I'm here with my really longtime friend, Lior Lustig. I've known Lior, I don't know, 15 years, gotta be, it's a while. Um, we met when one time I was in New York City and he was just outside of the city. I took the train, we met, we had lunch, we hung out, we got to know each other. And at the time, he already had NADLAN capital. But since that time, he has really exploded into a force to be reckoned with international financing, international capital. And obviously, coming from Israel, there's a lot going on in this world. We were just talking about the differences between North Americans and Israelis and kids and adjusting. And it's just, it's interesting. But Lior's been over in the New York area for about 15 years, right, Lior?
Yeah, 2010.
Let him.
Right at the right time to start investing.
Exactly.
After the crisis.
That's right. Exactly. So Lior works with a lot of our clients and helps them, whether directly through my referrals or because he's so well known, and helps them get access to financing to invest mostly inbound to the US. But the financing options, he was just saying, are even better for Israelis investing in the US than for Israelis investing in Israel.
It's amazing. It's easier to get financing in the US for a foreign national than getting financing in Israel. Because in Israel, you need to come like with 50% of the... This is why, by the way, there was never a crisis in Israel. There was no 2008. Prices were just going up and up and up because it wasn't like in the US that all you needed to have is a pulse, in 2008, that I spoke with many Israelis. They made a lot of money here because they take wherever. They could grab someone on the street and just sell him $1 million house. All he needed to do was have a pulse, and that's it. The regulations were very weak, and in Israel it was never like that. You had to come with 25% or 50% now, and you really need to show income, and the regulations were way tougher. And by the way, this is why many foreign nationals are investing in the US, because in Israel the price is just going up and up and up. It's
between like Canada, which is the next one after Israel.
Yeah, right? There are way more Canadian. There are way more Canadian investing in the US. It's actually the number one market, for Canadian to invest abroad. A lot of Canadians love Florida, love the sunshine, snowbirds enjoying the sun, and the yield and the prices, you really can compete. We build for example, in Ocala, houses for $250,000 rented for $2,000. There's nothing like that, abroad. Like for $250,000, like in Israel or Canada, you can get I don't know, a shack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the opportunities are huge.
It's true. It's 100% true. So let's backtrack for a sec. Lior, please introduce yourself so we know who you
are. Hello. All right. Yeah. So basically, I'm a technology guy that turned into real estate. Like all of my life path, I remember myself being 13 in my mom's house in Tel Aviv, collecting articles about the future of real estate in Israel to connect all kind of cities that now considered to be very central, but the new train going there, it's considered suburbs and stuff. And I looked at idols. Besides loving music since I was little, I also looked at idols, a lot of company leaders and investors. And I understood that basically to make my life more comfortable, I need to concentrate in life in technology and real estate. So all of my life is basically combined into both of these. And now I'm happy to say that now I'm living the dream because I'm doing both of them. I'm helping a lot of foreign nationals through technology. We are a very technology-oriented company. We have a few companies that everything got to do with how to help foreign nationals invest in the US. We concentrate only on the US with everything that got to do with investing. We have more than 40 people now with our different companies. And the largest one is basically the financing part. We work with more than 3,000 lenders, and we are doing an auction between them to find the best possible solutions for foreign nationals. So just a bit about myself. I finished 3 degrees in business and technology. When
And
I was
served in the army.
I
Yeah.
served in the army
For how
for
long?
3 years in technology.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, it's everything now come together with Iran in the nuclear facilities and technology
Wait, there's
facilities,
a war?
like the highest clearance in Israel. So I learned a lot about technology in the army. You can see all of the amazing thing that the Mossad and stuff are being done. So I was
Second
part
to
of it.
the best ever.
Yeah, like the best ever. It's keep on amazing me. When the beeper were done, I understood. All right, I guess we are okay. Like until then, I was kind of like frightened with 150,000 missiles from the Hezbollah, aiming in Israel. From the time of the beepers, I started feeling like I remembered where
Yeah.
we come from, like
You had like a
the like
deja vu.
exactly, yeah. So when I was done with the army for 10 years, I worked for the Ministry of Defense. I created millions of dollars of projects. During my time there for 10 years, I finished 3 different degrees. Part of my second degree, I went to the Israeli Shark Tank and I sold my first startup, which was kind of like Wix, a year before Wix,
Wix is Wix. W I.
building websites. And actually, when I was 12, before the age of the internet, if you can believe that, I don't know, like I kind of like showing my age, but before of the age of the internet, I created something that is kind of funny. It's called the nuclear bomb BBS, bulletin board system. Everything comes together now. And basically, I had in my room 5 different servers with 5 different phone lines so people could join together and communicate. I sold the computers and software and all of that. And I started that when I was 12. And now we actually have our own app. It's called NADLAN Social, which have tens of thousands of people from all over the world, which is a social network with more than 300 groups, social groups about every state in the US, about financing, about everything that you can think of, with hundreds of experts, which you're one of them, that people can go and ask questions and
It's in
experts
Hebrew
can
and
share the
English. You
information.
can translate, right? If you push a button, yeah.
Yeah, you download an app or you go to our website, which is in
Okay.
104 languages. The
That's
website
it.
have
Just
courses, they have
104.
news,
Okay.
and they have the social network basically.
Got it. So, what do you do differently than the other lender, like people that get money for foreign nationals investing in the US? What separates you from
Yeah.
them?
So basically, it's come up to. I got to the US 2010 with my second startup. The second startup was actually a social network, business to business. For it had more than 2 million products. For example, a hotel wanted to buy 100 television. They could go into the platform and do an auction between many suppliers. So when we open our real estate investment forum, which have like tens of dozens of people now, it's the largest in Israel and one of the largest in the US. So basically, we came across lots of needs from foreign nationals, and I'm as a startup guy, I said, all right, how can I help all of those? So basically, it all came from needs from foreign investors and financing. There's no sense in real estate without financing. That's the whole thing. If you invest in stocks, whatever you invest, this is what you invest. With financing, you can put 10% down, 20% down, 5% down, 3.5% down, and leverage. Like Americans can basically buy $1 million property and put 3.5% down. So it's amazing. Foreign national can put 20%, 25%, or whatever. So leveraging is very important. Now, the great thing about the US is that there are more than 8,000 lenders here, lenders that many of them work with foreign nationals. So as for now, we collected more than 3,000 of them. Each one of them it take about 2 to 3 months to get them boarded into our system. We check all of their all of their licenses. It's called NMLS. They check all of our taxes, all of our volumes, all of our licenses and stuff, and then we close a special agreement with them to get the best possible rates for our investors. And then we go into a free stage platform that, first of all, we do a blind auction between all of them, and all of them compete. Each one of them have in our database about 70 parameters: which state they invest, what kind of loan to value, what kind of prepayment penalty, what kind of loans they do, if it's a fix and flip, if it's DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio, that these are the best loans for 30 years, that we actually got way better rates for foreign nationals than what American can get. We got a foreign national 5.61 rate, which is amazing because of this system. So and then basically we get into the top 10. We go into consultation with the borrower and choosing the best three. So it's like a pyramid for 3,000 to 10, and then the best three based on the borrower business plan, which means one of them want to hold for 30 years, one of them want to do a fix and flip and sell, one of them want to get the most money out of the refinance, some of them want to keep cash flow, some of them want to have a longer prepayment penalty, the penalty for refinance. Some of them say, no, I don't want any prepayment penalty because I want to sell in a year. So
we have the flexibility.
Exactly. And then we're also using AI to choose the best free lenders. And then what we do another auction with them. This time it's an open auction, just like in Rome that you send everyone to fight. All right. So basically the top free lenders are now competing over that loan. So all of these lenders originally got into our system with great rates. But
great rates, not great trades, great rates,
great rates, yeah. But because of all of the competition, what happens many times, the account manager from the bank, seeing the top offers, and in that part, the borrower can also bring any external offer they got. It takes this offer, just like when you do an inspection for a property, and then based on the inspection, you choose, all right, I want to buy this property. I don't want to buy this property. I want to negotiate. All right, I want to ask for a discount. So this is exactly that. They see all of these offers, and then they take it to the money manager of the bank to get a special exception to get even a better rate. So this is how we got this 5.61 for a foreign national with no credit, no social, no income, nothing in the US. So this is the system that we built.
See, that's Israeli innovation for you. Whether from Israel, whether from the US, it's Israeli innovation. That's really great.
It's all about doing things different. Like if you're doing the same thing as everyone else, it's not interesting. You don't giving value.
Right.
The whole thing is really to look how can you innovate, how you can make things different for the benefit of the borrowers by the end of the day. Of course, the lenders get business, but they need to be very competitive. And many of them are like the ones that are not competitive are just being kicked out of the system, and they can complain, why you don't send us loan? Improve your rating, improve your service. Yeah. And we also have statistics for every lender, how good they are, how fast they close, how well they communicate. So we have all of this data collected about every lender, to basically know ahead of time for the borrower, for the investor, not to have issues down the line.
Yeah, got it. So what has changed over the past few years, let's say especially since COVID, in terms of how you approach this process?
All right. So as we know, COVID was an accelerator for everything. Okay. Mm-hmm. People didn't know what. I remember March 2020, people started to hear about Zoom. What is Zoom? Okay, like people didn't know what it is. Now everyone using Zoom. So I remember, even like with technology, people started to work remotely. So a lot of companies needed to make a shift very fast on how can we get people to work remotely. because of that, and because of COVID, we saw a lot of shifting of people moving, migrating. Like 361,000 people moved from New York City to Florida, just because they didn't want all of the regulations. I remember 5 years ago, I still worked in a technology office in here in Long Island. I'm in New York. I left right then. I built all of this while being at work. When we met, I was still at the office, like it was my last year. So everything was built for 5 years in my free time, and now 5 years, I'm doing that full time. So basically, I remember like people didn't want to get the shot. People didn't want to put the masks. All of the Broadway shows are closed. All of the gyms and stuff. In Florida, DeSantis, he didn't care that there was no COVID. People went to the beach and whatever. So we saw a huge migration over, and rates were still, until March 2022, were still very low. So the M2, basically, which counts the amount of money circulating, went like crazy because the Fed printed a lot of money to basically gap that crisis. So all of this money eventually inflated property prices. So what we see now, the property prices now compared to 2022 to 2020 is 3 times in many places. It used to be that the normal route was you work hard in New York, you kill yourself, you sell your house for $500,000 or $1 million, and you can buy 3 houses in Florida. It's no longer the case. Okay, so what we see now, because of insurance that went up a lot all over the U.S., especially in Florida, with everything that got to do with roof claims because of hurricanes and stuff, 80% of the insurance companies closed. We see it's getting better now, but also taxes, because taxes, basically, Florida doesn't have personal taxes, only federal taxes, but they compensated by property taxes. So property taxes are higher percentage-wise, but when the property go up from 400,000 in Cooper City in 2020 to 1.5 million now or whatever, also the taxes going up and the insurance going up. And now with the rates that are way higher, we see way more demand. Like basically, you would think that now a company that is doing mortgages, no one going to come over because the rates are high. It's the opposite. We see a lot of business in that because we also have a real estate school and we're also building and stuff. But this company, the financing is became like 80% of what we do, because that every 0.5%, every 0.25%, every 1% different in the rate, it's tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for the life of the loan. So it's so important to do that. Basically, the auction is mapping the market. Instead of you going one by one and you don't have the special pricing, you don't have a research. We have a research department that all they do, going to conventions, checking, going on LinkedIn and online to locate all of these lenders and check them up and sign them up and check all of their licenses and stuff and close the best deals. So most people cannot do it by themselves. Okay, you can try, you can call 1, 2, 3. A lot of them are not even going to work with small investors. With us, part of our contract is starting with $60,000 loan. A lot of these companies, when an investor going to call and say, I want a $60,000 loan, they're not going to do it. With us, it's kind of like mandatory. We tell them, you want the big loans, you got to do the small loans. And we do the small loans. We are losing money on them. But we want to help the community, because first of all, we're in a community, and someone that starts with a $60,000 investment, buying in Ohio, they're going to grow, they're going to refer, they're going to give us a good review. So we prefer to lose these loans than placing, I don't know, a $40,000 billboard in Times Square and spend the money on some celebrity. We prefer to grow organically that way by giving good service, even for loans that we don't make money on.
Right, I understand. Okay, got it. Well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, there's obviously something to be said for the community that you've built, the followers that you have. How many members do you currently have in your app?
Yeah, so I can show how it looks like. Just one second. Yeah, so basically, this website gets 2 million views a month. It's in 104 languages. So we see people coming from all over the world, and basically, US is number one. Then we have French, Germany, Israel, and right after the US is Canada. I forgot. US, Canada, French, Germany, Israel. Israel is kind of like number five. Israel is there's not that many people there, but they're large on investing. We have tens of, like, currently, let's see, as of now, you can see all of the updates. Where is that? Okay, I believe we have about 30,000 people from all over the world here.
All of
You
these
can see
are
all,
paid members, right?
you can also join as a free member. Of course, you're limited. There are more than 300 groups. Okay, if you want to get all of the groups, all of the states and stuff, these are paid. Okay, but you have some of the groups that are open to everyone. The news is open to everyone. Of course, if you want to have more courses, if you want to get like the financing part, we have two different levels: the regular, which you need to pay for every auction, or the membership that you can do as many auctions as you want through the year. You don't need to pay for it, and you get a VIP service with all of the stages that I mentioned. The regular one is just the first stage. It's just the blind auction. Whatever lender join and upload their
And the
offer.
membership tiers range from how much?
So basically, the regular price for this program is $3,000 a year. Everyone that come through a partner like you get 3 days to join for 90% off, which means $300 for the year. Okay. Now, just to put it in perspective, every auction that we do, it costs us more than $1,000. It's 18 people now in the financing company doing it manually for a week. If we're going to charge $1,000, people are not going to do it. So we subsidize it to $150. But if you are joining for the $300 for the year through a partner, basically you can do as many auctions as you want. So if you're going to take it, let's say as an example, you want to buy a property in the US, not a new construction. You want to do an inspection. You want to check it out. So if the inspector going to tell you, oh, you need to pay $1,000, you're not going to do it. Okay. So let's say an inspection is $600. So just in comparison, let's say you joined in the $300. That inspector going to tell you, you know what? Pay me only $300. You can do as many inspections as you want through the year, even 100. For each one of them, you're going to get 2-hour consultation with us. The first one is get you into the auction, which we are building. It's very important. People don't know that. When you approach a lender, the first impression is very important. The lender basically rank you from 0 to 10 based on your experience, your resume, what you do in life. You want to know if you are a beggar or if you are like in a high-tech mogul, or if you are you already did investments and stuff like that. So it's very important. So in the premium program, we work for 1 hour with every customer to build their business plan, to build their resume, real estate resume, make sure that all of the data is being accurate before it goes out to 3,000 lenders. And then when we get the 10 top offers in the premium program, we have another session to basically go over all of these offers and normalize them. What does it mean? Every offer from every bank is different. Right. One bank gives 80% loan to value. Another one gives 60%. One of them give this rate. One of them that rate. One of them charge that amount of origination. Another one charge different prepayment penalty and stuff. So what we do, we normalize all of them. And then the lender, the borrower can see through what's going on. And from that, we can choose that free top one to do the other open auction. So all of this is part of the premium program. So with the example of the inspector, so let's say the inspector going to say, you know what, you can do as many inspections as you want. It's going to cost you only $300 for the year. You're going to get 2 consultations, one before the inspection, one after the inspection. And more than that, the cost the broker costs are up to 50% off if you join the premium. So what we get is basically half of what you would get if you would go the regular route. And I put my time, I know where to put my personal time as one that doing it here for 15 years, doing financing here in New York for 15 years. I work only with the premium members. The regular one is kind of like do it yourself. You get all of the offers in the original form. You don't know who is the lender until you move forward, sign an NDA. But let's say you go to Chase or Bank of America, which, by the way, all of these regular banks don't work with foreign nationals. We work only with banks that work with foreign nationals. So each one of them going to give you 50 pages of, and you need to look where is the rate and stuff. So in the premium program, our staff actually take all of that, put it in a table, and then we can compare it in the proper way. Yeah. So this is the app. Everyone can download it, but when people join the premium program, they get all of the benefits, and there is a long list of like 40 different benefits. For example, software that people don't need to pay for if it's a prop stream, and Reventure app, and all of this, all of that included in the premium. It doesn't matter if you pay the $3,000 or the $300, you're going to get the same thing.
Got it. Awesome. Well, I mean, you certainly have built an amazing network, and you can get amazing rates. I mean, really, it's a win-win no matter how you slice it. So at the end of the day, reach out to Lior, tell him that you're working with me, tell him that you're looking at investing in the US from wherever. Are you planning on also having funds available to invest outside of the US as we are going global?
All right. So we help some, it's more like on a friend basis of Americans or Canadian or whatever that want to invest in Israel. Many times Jewish people want a piece of the land in Jerusalem or whatever, just in case crisis or whatever, is to have something. It's not something we specialize on, but we can connect. We're doing every year the largest conventions in Israel, in Miami, and in New York with many operators, and many of them work in Portugal and Mexico and Greece and Panama and stuff, so we can refer. We concentrate on the US. There is no country in the world like the US for doing business. The ease of doing business, signing remotely, having property management, having 50 states to invest in. Just Texas is 14 and a half times Israel.
Yeah.
Dallas is completely different than Austin. Austin can be very blue, and Dallas can be very red, politically wise. Yeah. And Houston is completely different. Over there, you do, because of the flooding and stuff, you do apartments. And Austin is more chic and trendy. And Dallas is, great for investment and stuff. Or Florida, Ocala is totally different than Miami or Fort Myers. So there's so many options. And because all of the world, and we see it in the statistics on our website, like people coming from all over the world, the Russians, the Chinese, the Europeans, India, South Americans, of course, Canadian, the largest, and Americans, everyone invests in the US. And let's say Florida, the number one state for investing statistically. Just think about, for example, I tell Israelis that want to invest, I don't know, in a small town in Israel, who invest there? Israelis. Here, the prices keep on going up, and the liquidity, let's say you want to sell, let's say you like all of the regulations and stuff. In Israel, when you buy more than 2 apartments, you're being taxed tremendously. It doesn't make sense to invest. In the US, they just tell you, keep on investing. You can write off your interest rate.
Right.
It doesn't exist in Israel. I don't know how it is in Canada, but here, all of the expenses.
Yeah, it's not exactly like that, but it's definitely not like America. That's why people invest here, because the opportunities are so much
greater. Like here, they incentivize you. To keep on buying, keep on investing, and if you do your taxes smartly, I can say, and I don't consider myself a bad guy, but for 15 years, I didn't pay taxes. Why? Because I keep on investing. All right. And this is how the big investors do it. You need to know how to write off all of your expenses. Let's say I travel to Florida even with my family, and I check the properties, at least my ticket I can write off. The hotel, the car, the food. So just think, if you bought in Florida and now from Canada you're flying over to Disney and you have a property in Orlando and you go to check the property and also fix some stuff, you can write off a lot of your expenses. Okay, and if you bought it smart with financing, also the portion of the rate, you can write it off. This is amazing. It's simply an amazing platform. It's very, very friendly for investors. You can find property managers, like title companies that work with foreign nationals, immigration attorneys like Lauren. You get so much support here, and it's all in a language that you can understand. I keep on saying, for example, for Israelis that want to invest in Greece, I did a lecture in our last expo about technology and real estate. The US is by far, far, so many companies, even Israeli companies, they built platforms for investing where in the US market, like just like our platform, like comparison and stuff. It's so much more advanced. So you can sit in the computer as long as you have internet. You can be in Canada, you can be in Israel, you can be in Thailand. You can do so much research about every property with public records in the US, and know how much taxes were paid, how much it was rented for, like how much is the current mortgage on it. So much information that doesn't exist anywhere. You want to invest in Portugal or in Greece? Good luck. You don't know the language. You're gonna go to some Craigslist site that looked like from the 90s. Good luck comparing how much this apartment in Limassol compared to that apartment across the street. In the US, you can get so much accuracy that it's amazing. Like I invest all over the US. By the way, now I invest only in the US. I have some apartment in Israel when I lived there 15 years ago. I still keep it, but it doesn't make sense for me to buy anywhere else in the world. Anywhere else. And I have properties in Florida, in Texas, in New York, in Philadelphia, we have buildings in Milwaukee and stuff. We invest only in the US because it's so much easier. The yields are way better. The ease of doing business, the financing, everything is so much easier to be done here. And by the end of the day, you're looking at the numbers. You want the numbers to make sense. You want to have cash flow. You're not doing it because you enjoy a mortgage. I tell my clients, it's not fun. It's like going to the dentist. It's something you need to do. It's something that, you buy real estate. It doesn't make sense to buy without financing. First of all, you're setting all of the risk to the bank. The bank is putting 80%. So all of the risk is the bank. You put only 20% in. Okay. So if the property doubled itself, the cash on cash, you put, for example, a property of 100K, you put 20,000. Now you made another 100,000 for the value of the property, for 100 to 200. You 5x your 20K. If you put 100%, you only doubled it. Okay. Now, if the value go down by 20%, when you put only 20K, you only lost 20% of the 20K. So all of the risk go to the bank. And also, the bank is your partner, because let's say you're not that much of an expert. You're not sure if this deal that some operator offers you is a good one. When you are being approved by the bank, and the bank have their underwriters and checking all of the numbers, and they are willing to put 80% into that deal, you know that most likely you're going to be fine, because you have all of the bank experts approving that deal. Okay. So, by all means, it makes so much sense. Also, when you refinance and you get your money out, let's say you bought a property for 100K and now you want to, now it's 200K, and you're thinking, should I refinance or should I sell? When you sell, you have capital gains, 25% that you need to pay. When you're taking a mortgage, you pay zero. There is no tax on getting a loan. Basically, you're getting a liability. There's no tax on it. Okay. And I'm sure many of you heard about the Bear method, of bigger pockets: buy, rebrand, refinance, repeat. A lot of investors do that. And we wanted to speak on how can you get a visa in the US. Of course, this is your expertise. So I know I have many friends that what they do, you buy 5, you buy 10 properties in Ohio, whatever, even for 60K or 100K or whatever. And now you can open a property management for them.
Let's not go down that road, Lior. Let's leave that. That's my expertise. So let's leave that conversation for a different presentation.
Sure. All right. Yeah, you're gonna be interviewed in our podcast, and we can talk about all of that.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. So, how do people reach you, please?
NADLAN Capital Group. There is an AI chat there. You can communicate with it, get all of the info. All of our staff members are there. You can go. You can search for my name, Lior Lustig. You're gonna find everything that we do, and of course, reach you. You're our partner. If you want to get the 90% off, you need to go through Lauren. Okay. If you go through us, it's $3,000 for the year. If you want to get it for the $300, you need to reach through Lauren. She can give you the code and the information on how to join on the discount, and you can do as many auctions as you want. Basically, it's kind of like doing as many inspections as you want for as many properties, and there's no obligation. You got the mapping of what you can get. You can tell us, listen, it's not for me. You gave me 4% rate. Now I want 2%. Some people are, they're in La La Land.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there's no obligation. And, and you're going to get the entire package with our partner, Lauren.
Because I need to. So I'm going to thank you for joining me, for sharing all of this information.
Thank you. And I want to say, I wish for our hostages to be back home. I wish for our soldiers in Israel to go back home safely. All of our great people in Israel, I wish them all, protect yourself, be in a safe place. I know I have all of my family there. It's so scary now. I wish for us prosperity and well-being for everyone.
Peace.
And of course to you, Lauren. Thank you for inviting me.
Shalom. Thank you. I'm Yisrael Chai, and may all please.
Shalom and peace to the world.
That's what we are hoping for.
I'm Israel Chai.
Thank you, Lior.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.